Late night cage fight.
Someone's going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Steal the Declaration of Independence.
The treasure of the Knights Templar is the treasure of all treasures.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
How's this admire in a cage?
Welcome to another episode of Late Night Cage Fight. This will be the final Nicolas Cage film that we will watch for season 1 of this exciting podcast where we explore the entire film universe of Sir Nicolas Cage. We're all huge fans here and we're excited to talk about the latest installment. I don't know why I said that because it's another old-ass movie from the 80s called The Boy in Blue. And let me tell you what, the boy in blue looks good in blue or without anything at all in this film. He is ripped to shreds. And I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it. We're going to talk about, obviously, what happens in the movie, what we can remember, how we watched the movie, our impressions of the movie. Steve, you said you actually wanted to start us off, so what was it you wanted to say?
Yeah. Well, so I was just going to kind of just the history of the boy in blue, you know. So it was probably one of Gainsborough's most famous works. It was actually thought to be like a self-portrait back in 1750. Hold on. Sorry, that's the Blue Boy. That's an old painting. My bad.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
The Blue Boy lives on a war-torn planet. Okay, his parents got killed, and he doesn't want anyone. Doesn't love anyone. Doesn't want to be loved. God damn it! Never mind. Hold on.
Wait.
You're gonna have to do this. I'm on the Blue Boy. It's a picture book. All my shit got messed up, man. We had enough trouble trying to find this movie.
So you're telling me you looked up The Boy in Blue just now, so you could read about it, and you weren't looking at the right thing, of course.
And I'm getting all the wrong shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm getting all the wrong shit.
Well, I got the Wikipedia up, man. Boy in Blue. It's not.
That's what I was trying to use.
It's a 1986 Canadian drama film. Of course, the moment we realized it was Canadian was kind of amusing. We didn't know at first it was Canadian, but we didn't really know anything about it. Even though, Steve, you did a while ago kind of key us in to the fact that it was about a Canadian scholar. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, but not to be confused with like the Indians.
You're thinking scalper.
No, those are. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that really hit the mark there, Steve. It's a film written by Douglas Bowie, co-produced by Steve North, John Kimmeny, Dennis. I'm not even going to try these French names. 20th Century Fox film. Filming took place in Quebec and Ontario. Released in theaters January 17th, 1986. It is based on a true story about the life of Toronto scholar Ned Hanlan. I had no idea who Ned Hanlan was. Now that I do, he must have been...
Learned all about it. Ned Hanlan was Nick.
Ned Hanlan was Nick, yeah. And he must have been an amazing, fierce rowing champion. A formidable competitor. Clearly. But before we get into the movie, let's talk about, since some time has passed between now and our last recording, let's just catch up, guys. I mean, I'll start with myself here. What was the last movie we watched? Was it Cotton Club? No, it was Birdie. And I tell you what, those two together, that's enough to make you not want to watch a movie again for at least a year.
Yeah.
But man.
And then you walk into this.
And then we walk into The Boy in Blue. And it's interesting the way we did it because, well, let's just talk about actually finding a copy of it. It was like Cotton Club. There's nowhere to stream it. Libraries don't even have it. They get offended if you ask if they have it.
Can you tell me where I can find a book on astronomy?
This is the funny thing. I actually found it online, like on the library search thing, through my library.
Right.
And I placed a hold on it. And ironically enough, it's been almost a month now, and they still haven't called me. So I think that when I ordered it, they were like, forgot we had this thing, and they pulled it out and they lit it on fire.
They're just refusing to hand it to you. So I ended up having to buy this thing off of eBay, of course, and the way we did it was I streamed it for you guys, and we kind of watched it together, which I thought worked out pretty well. I enjoyed it, especially the fact that I could kind of record our reactions and we could be a little more modern with our, super cool reactions to it. So
Yeah.
I'm sure throughout this podcast, I'll include some of the audio and video, depending on what we do with the video as well from that. Because there are some funny moments, and it kind of helps me remember some of the scenes. But, I tell you what, this is... Man, it's like Cotton Club. It's a rough movie to sit through. At least it was for me. I don't know what I would have done if I had to watch it by myself. I would have fallen asleep about 15 times, I think. But there were a couple Cage outs, and that always makes these older films worthwhile. You have to have that moment where Cage just loses his shit and screams profanities, right? We had some of that.
It doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very often in this movie, or you mean in general?
Both.
What are you talking about? That's his signature.
Oh,
You're just being a douche tonight.
yeah. That's what I do.
All right. So yeah, there's been some time. I moved to Japan for a few years, so that was a big part of it. Had to transport all my stuff by ship, and got all that stuff a couple weeks ago. Had to set up, and so finally I'm settled in. I'm getting back into the routine of recording and editing and all that stuff. How have you guys been? What's new?
Oh man, nothing new with me.
Nothing
just
new?
sitting in a hotel right now and talking to some very wonderful men right now. This is great. What else would I want to do?
I love sitting in a hotel and talking to men. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So you prefer talking more than watching a Nicolas Cage movie? The discussion is more exciting, probably. At least early on.
I tell you, I'm glad we watched that movie the way that we did.
Oh man.
Because I don't think I could have enjoyed it any more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like Nick Cage did all the directing and everything for the movie, as ridiculous as it was.
Yeah, it
I
felt.
think he does sometimes.
It really felt like the director gave him a lot of leeway in this one.
I think I would love to see Nick direct his own movie.
I don't think he had. Well, yeah, that would be great if he directed and starred in his own movie. It would probably be more amazing than anything we've ever seen.
It'd be like some M. Night Shyamalan stuff.
What a twist! What about you, Steve? What's new with you?
Not a whole lot. A lot of shit going on with work. My son's first birthday is this Sunday.
Happy birthday to him.
Getting ready for that. Yeah.
Very cool. There has been some interesting Nick Cage news.
Are we talking Nick Cage in the news?
Yeah, we're talking Nick Cage in the news here. I mean, I wanted to talk Nick Cage in the news a while back. But you remember he got married? And I wanted to celebrate that marriage.
For like a day and a half?
Yeah, I guess it was 4 days.
Was it 4 days? I thought it was 4. I thought it was like 14 hours.
Yeah, they had like a shotgun wedding
But he was
in
drunk.
Las Vegas.
He was drunk. It wasn't his fault.
It was just one of those days.
Yeah, I understand. Sometimes I get drunk and
But this chick he married, Erica Koike, I'm not quite sure. They're finding out that she has a criminal history, she dated drug dealers and stuff. Maybe she was in a relationship with another person. Let's just say he knows how to pick them. They had that huge fight before they got married. And wow, I guess 3 months later they're officially divorced. So she kind of looks like, to me, it looks like she's had some work done, maybe Botox, and she kind of looks like a more plasticky Miley Cyrus in that shot I saw.
Now it's my favorite thing in the world is smoking pot and playing UFC videos.
Yeah, right.
so was it before or after the marriage when he did the Prince bit?
What was the Prince bit?
He did an angry cover of Prince's Purple Rain at a karaoke bar in Los Angeles.
I didn't know. Tell me about that.
No, there's a video up of it where he's doing an angry rendition of Prince's Purple Rain.
Oh my God, that's like a dream come true.
It's a real life Cage out.
All right, well, let's dive into The Boy in Blue. Oh, 1986 sports film. You guys ready to talk about this? Do you remember anything from this movie?
I try not to.
Ned Hanlan is determined to become the fastest man on water.
You don't know how good you are, do you? Sure I do.
But first he's got to reform himself. Refine himself.
This is making me sick wearing these monkey suits.
Control himself. And prove himself.
Get up! Harvard man!
There's a world of bloody difference between rowing to escape the police and rowing like a champion in competition.
They couldn't break his records.
You'll never win another bloody race.
Or his pride.
Sir Hanlan, you wouldn't recognize a wit and sophistication if it hit you in the face.
Fun!
Because he's trained too long.
Still haven't seen what he can do when he really puts his mind to it.
Pushed too hard.
I want to win fair and square, not at all!
And risked too much.
We bet $20,000. He's an investment that's going sour.
To settle for anything less than being the best there is.
You think you can beat him?
I know I can.
Nicolas Cage is The Boy in Blue, the true story of a legend who left history in his wake.
Listen, you know if it's gonna be a headache just to find it. It's got to be bad.
Well, that's not necessarily true. There were a lot of endearing moments in this movie.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
But I remember starting out and being very confused from the get-go as to what's going on. If there's a race, if it's just guys dicking around in the lake. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, it looked like when you go with a group of I don't know, like young kind of frat guys that are just fucking around at the lake in boats. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be like a frat party or something. And then the next thing I know, he's maybe racing, maybe like smuggling drugs.
Right.
I'm not really sure what's going on.
I remember it started out on the lake, I guess, in the bay somewhere. They're rowing, and Steve just thought that they were dicking around, right? Was that you who said...
Yeah. I'm not really sure. Are they racing or are they just like dicking around?
I think they're racing, man.
Just like I was him earlier. Is he literally fighting? Is he racing like a strong man from the circus?
How would they not be racing? Look at all the people around.
Like 5 minutes ago, they were just like knocking into each other and laughing.
I immediately got the sensation that, or I had the thought that it's going to be like a real serious drama. This person's going to face some big challenges in his career and life, and he's going to have to grow and maybe deal with tragedy. That kind of drama is what I expected.
You shouldn't expect anything.
What we ended up getting was more of what I would say like a Sunday matinee. It kind of had like a Western feel to it, just real simple. It didn't dive too heavily into the characters. Yeah. There was some emotional drama, mostly the romantic spin, but that romance was so forced that you couldn't take it seriously.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, that's true.
I mean, if you're talking the early on, I don't even know that he was in like a real romance, because like the first girl, it was just like he smuggled some. I think he was smuggling like moonshine. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a moonshiner.
So he smuggles some moonshine over.
Dirty job.
Yeah, and then he goes and does a dirty job to some dirty job. And you know they're coming into the lynch mob shows up.
Right.
You fucking sinner. You dirty sinner.
It's because he has moonshine?
Yeah. How did they get... the rope on him.
They're just that good.
And then they were behind him in the boat. They were full on ready.
It's an ambush!
And then what? He ends up getting picked up by the some dude. I still don't understand what Knox's character was. The guy that like initially enlisted him to go and race. Why was he there? And what was he actually doing? Was he just randomly some rich dude that's hanging out and he's like, hey, I'll manage for you.
Right.
And just I happen to be in this place, or sought him out, or there was not a lot of explanation as to who he was.
Wasn't he racing? Bill?
Oh my God, Kevin, you are lagging like a lagger.
I don't know, but whatever happened, you suddenly cleaned up. So evidently, whoever was watching porn in the room next to you just decided they were done. Taking up all the bandwidth.
That's what that sound was.
Yeah, they finished rubbing it out. Now they're like, okay, you can have the bandwidth back. That was pretty quick. So
I don't know.
Knox is the first manager that picked him up. The one that came and sought him out in Canada.
Okay.
I don't know who Bill is.
But that was the one that looked like Robert Downey Jr., right? That you're talking about?
Yeah.
That was,
But
what's his
but
name?
not
Bill?
Junior.
Bill?
It was Knox.
What is his name? Bill? Right, but first name Bill?
I don't know. Probably.
What was I gonna say? Oh, so he was racing against
It
him.
was Christopher Plummer, right? That's the actor. No, Bill is somebody else.
Bill was his first manager.
Yeah, you're right. Bill is his first one.
And they were racing against each other at the beginning.
Yeah. Were they racing each other?
Yeah, I guess. Whatever he saw in him.
Yeah, it was just a matter of convenience. Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
This movie is very similar to Cotton Club in the sense that there's so much effort in trying to create the believability of the world that it's like the writers forget that not everyone is familiar with the story, and they don't try to fill in those holes. So things just kind of happen out of convenience, and if you know the story, that's great. You don't have to ask any questions. But if you're just a casual movie watcher, unfortunately the way that it unfolds is, oh, well, now this character's here. I don't know why, but okay, I'll just roll with it, I guess.
All right, so I'm reading the plot, and I think I understand now how he got mixed up with Bill. Bill was a gambler, so that's why I picked him up. He was like, hey, you can make me some quick money.
Yeah, and he wants some...
So he wasn't a manager?
Not at first.
Well, not technically. He wasn't technically a manager. He just kind of acted in that role so that he could place bets on it.
Yeah, and he wants him to go to Philadelphia to race. Because he thinks he can make him some money, like you're saying.
Yeah, because he's like a horse.
So what you're saying, Reese, is like, so if our parents were to watch this, they would know right away, oh, so that must be, that must be
Ned Hanlan.
Hanlan. Oh, yeah, we know about him from all the history books.
Right.
Like, he won all those records, and like, we have Michael Jordan, and they had Ned Hanlan.
when was Ned Hanlan? When was Ned Hanlan relevant? Like when did all this shit happen?
They had moonshiners. So.
1876. Yeah. So our parents.
Our parents.
Was that our parents?
Right after Civil War.
The late 1800s. Ned Hanlan died in 1908. I don't think any of our parents or grandparents were even alive.
Well, I'm sure they learned a lot about him. I mean, who was important besides him back then?
Right. He was probably on the cover
how many
of the history books.
Well, they were made in stone?
Of Playgirl.
I mean, honestly, though, I just pulled up a picture of old Ned Hanlan. No, I pulled up Ned Hanlan, man. He's a looker.
Is he?
I would take him for a mustache ride.
Would you?
I'm like, Dave, you're advertising mustache rides.
I haven't looked him up.
He would have bought it.
Just imagine with that sliding seat. It'd be a real force of nature.
You didn't have to grease up that little asshole.
That was a great scene. They zoom in on the men getting their bottoms greased up,
bottoms.
Their bottoms greased for the big race. I think it's an interesting historical point, but it also looks kind of funny. I think if this movie were to be made today, they would have had some one-liner or some quip about it.
I think there was a lot of timing confusion as to where this movie was set, because I remember thinking at some points that it was a very, very old-fashioned 1800s kind of movie, and then times where it was a very 1950s movie, and then there was one character in particular that was just straight up 1980s.
Yes. Yeah. He had he had the cutoffs.
The headbands.
It's like a tank top.
Yeah.
And he had a headband that looked like what am I trying to say? Like Karate Kid.
Yeah.
But again, so did Cage. If you look up the promo shots, there's a scene with him working out. He's got these long white pants on. He's ripped, and he's got the bandana on and the dumbbells, and it looks like he's just out of the 80s. It looks like he's in a Bruce Lee movie. So there's a ton of shots that kind of take you out of the film because they don't seem to be set to the right time.
Well, it wasn't until right now that I even understood that this was supposed to be based in the 1800s.
Yeah, I actually thought it was.
I actually thought this was based in the 70s, 80s time period.
How did you think that with Moonshiners? Yeah. Did you think that Canada has not allowed alcohol? They didn't let you drink in the 80s?
Dude, it's the country. I mean, it's still technically illegal to make moonshine, and people do it. And people
That's true.
Find ways to get around it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And especially when you run into some of those smaller, extremely religious communities, they get pretty serious about that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, we run into that in Ohio.
It's really, I guess, in the shots of the groups of people and what they're wearing. The ladies have the big dresses.
Yeah.
That's where it's obvious. Oh, okay. But other than that, I mean, when you just show guys rowing.
A clear understanding, and even when you look at the boats, I mean, that's really what boats looked like in the 1800s. Man, we have some serious lack of craftsmanship in today's world because they look nice.
Yep.
For something that was free.
Yeah.
Most of what we're doing nowadays.
I think we can agree that the boats are probably the stars of this movie, the real stars.
Yeah.
The best looking.
I think so. So throughout all of this, I mean, I think that we're supposed to be talking about Ned Hanlan as being this star athlete and everything, but I never got that impression from this movie. The star was the old dude that made the boat.
Oh my gosh, that old guy.
Yeah.
What was that line?
Who was that? Was that Riley or was that? I'm trying to remember character names. What was his name? Yeah, I'm trying to remember his character. Walter. That's
Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think I'm queer in the attic. Your friend thinks I'm queer in the attic. Remember that line?
Yeah.
That was my favorite shot so far, the guys greasing their asses.
Thinks I'm queer in the attic.
I'm queer in the attic?
You have the shot where basically Ned Hanlan, Nick Cage, is being introduced to his secret weapon, what's going to be his secret weapon, which is the sliding seat that this old guy, Walter, invented. And he's there with his, like you said, pseudo manager, Bill. And it kind of has this Spielberg feel of wonder, that it's like, wow, this is going to change my life. And it's kind of dreamy. And then this son of a bitch, old inventor guy, says, your friend thinks I'm queer in the attic. And he just leaves because he's offended. He's upset because Bill, I guess, made some comment about how he's not, he doesn't buy into the sliding seat just yet. It was very, very odd and funny, unintentionally funny.
Well, this isn't the first time that we've heard a random comment along those lines. What was the Johnny? Are you queer?
Oh, Johnny, are you a queer boy?
Hey, Johnny,
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny, are you queer?
Man. So he gets the sliding seat. He gets to use the sliding seat, and of course he wins, and he's amazing, and everybody...
But barely, though. That's the thing that got me. He barely won with this thing that's supposed to be amazing, and he's also an amazing athlete, and I don't know, I think it just irritates me that the whole movie is focused on how amazing
Cage, Ned Hanlan starts winning. He's a winner. And we meet the character Knox, played by Christopher Plummer. Yeah.
That's the one.
I really like this actor. He just had that old-timey Western kind of style.
He reminds me of like, what is it, Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton? Yeah, I can see it. I mean, of course, I'm much older.
Right, yeah, much older.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this actor before. What have I seen him in? He's in a lot.
Yeah, he's in a lot.
I mean, I don't even know where to start with him. He's done a lot of voice work, a lot of TV work.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X?
This also isn't the last we'll see him from either, because I believe that he was also in National Treasure.
Great. Oh, he was in...
We'll have that to look forward to.
He was in 12 Monkeys, the movie. Dracula 2000. He was in a Star Trek...
I think he also did some voice work in American Tail.
Okay. A Beautiful Mind. We've seen that one, right?
Yeah.
Alexander, Syriana. I'm just listing the ones I've seen that I would probably remember him from. Oh, he was in The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. That was Heath Ledger's last role. He actually passed away, I believe, during the filming of that movie. I guess Christopher Plummer, he played Dr. Parnassus, so that's probably where I recognize him from. More recently. Oh my goodness, you missed it, Steve. You missed it. He's in Priest.
Oh yeah, Priest.
Yeah, you mentioned that, I think, in our last podcast.
I forgot about that.
That's right. We were talking about Christopher Plummer, and he's in freaking Skyrim. He's a voice in Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I really.
So he does a lot. He does a lot.
I liked Knox. If the whole movie was about Knox, it would have been a lot more badass. But of course, it was about Cage, and nothing beats the Cage. Am I right?
That's right.
Yeah. So he meets Knox, and
I guess
and it's Knox's niece. Should we talk about the sex scene, by the way, at the beginning when he's they're having full-on clothes?
Oh,
Go ahead.
You with the old girl, right?
With his previous.
Yeah, I vaguely mentioned that he was, doing the dirty job with the dirty job.
Didn't see it coming.
Didn't see it coming. Yep. And I really want. It's such a strange.
Yeah. And just all of a sudden.
Yeah. So they're making love in the loft of this cabin. I don't know if that's her place or where they are. I don't remember.
It's the same cabin that every love scene from the last few movies that we've watched has been in. I swear to God, it's the same cabin.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
Do it here because nobody else wants to do it after you've been in here.
Yeah.
You never clean up after yourself, and it's disgusting.
But it must have been it must have been a spur of the moment thing because they both have all their clothes on. She's on top and loving it. And then you have Preacher Guy and his crew who they know that they're fornicating and he's very upset about it. He's trying to get them arrested for it because apparently it's against the law, in Canada at that time to fornicate outside of marriage, I'm guessing. And it's
always against God's law.
It's a really kooky scene because they bust in and Nick Cage jumps off of the deck into the water and then swims to the great big steamboat in the distance. And I think it was supposed to be an exciting scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just absolutely ridiculous. It really set the tone for the rest of the film, which was out there. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the awkward sex scene. But then later when he meets with Knox becomes his next manager. And he's warned, Bill warns him not to get too close to Knox because Knox would not be out for his best interest. Knox was all about making money. He was a gambler himself. But the fact of the matter is, Knox was good at what he does, and he knew a good rower.
Also, he had a banging niece.
That's right, he had a banging niece.
Right? Is banging the correct Valley Girl term?
Was it? No.
That would be the correct term.
Bitchin'.
I wasn't raised in 1876.
Yes, it was banging. She was banging in 1876. In 1980, she was bitching.
Yeah, late 1800s.
She's bitching.
Yeah.
He's just like really bitching. You'll see.
So banging Cynthia Dale is the actress's name. Margaret. He just falls head over heels for Margaret. Right off the bat. Yeah, it's not like this was written in a movie. It was just so organic and natural. Nick Cage was just immensely.
My thought was that the original script actually had him staying with the first girl, but like whenever this girl showed up, he was like, no, hey, no, I want to be with her. Just redo the script.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
I wasn't really a fan of her acting, at least in this role, but we're gonna have to get used to her because she's coming up again in Moonstruck with Nicolas Cage, which has a much higher rating, and I'm sure is gonna be a more bearable.
Oh, I thought that was Cher.
Oh, Cher's in it. Yeah, Cher's in it too. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh, that was a joke. Yes. Well,
yeah.
Have you seen Moonstruck?
I gotta remember who I'm talking to. I know Cher is in it, and I was pretending that she was Cher. So sorry. Go ahead.
Sometimes things go over my head a little bit.
Yeah.
So what happens next? He starts rowing for Knox, and he falls in love with this chick, but she is just not having it. We have the famous.
No, but she's like catfishing him the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if catfishing was a thing in the 1800s, but clearly it was, because she was all about it.
Yep. There's the scene where he takes her out on the lake or on the river, the stream. I don't know, the creek. It looked like a creek.
It looked like a swamp. It looked like, I don't know, it looked like the same like swamp creaky thing from Little Mermaid.
Get in there.
But Aunt Gert had to come along.
Gertie.
Yeah.
who was half dead.
Right. Yeah, there was another.
It's such a nice thing.
Yeah, she's drifting in and out of consciousness because she's on the verge of death the whole time.
Oh, it's just my Aunt Gertie.
That was an awkward scene. It's just so obvious that she's catfishing and playing a game, and he doesn't get it. He thinks that all the ladies want him. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
What doesn't make sense to me is he hits on the first girl, they make love. He hits on the next girl, and he's trying real hard to get with her, but he doesn't try to hit on Aunt Gertie. I mean, she's got it going on too. She looks like she's vulnerable.
You know who he reminds me of?
You could add two right there.
I mean, do we even know? He's just rowing like crazy. He's winning. People love him. He's a winner.
Yeah, they just kind of like keep going back and forth with this. I think Knox sets him up with like a legit trainer.
Oh, he's got the leprechaun trainer.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah?
Yeah, he's got the leprechaun trainer.
Yeah, the Irish guy. That was pretty cool.
So he spends some time, practicing, apparently dressing like Aladdin.
Yeah, he's cosplaying Aladdin, and he's rowing. I like that he has his rowing machine right in front of the house, so all the guests can see, there he is, Ned Hanlan, right out front.
Ironically enough, I have that screenshots like pulled up right now. It's just him sitting out there. They're all sitting out on the patio with having their brunch, and he's sitting out down the stairs in his vest.
Yeah, I mean, totally 1800s Aladdin vest. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
We also got to talk about...
And his hair.
Oh, his hair is just perfectly combed.
Oh, just perfectly.
Yeah. And we have to mention, it's called The Boy in Blue because apparently Ned Hanlan wore a baby blue shirt when he rode. It's not ever really explained. He just gets the shirt and...
No, Bill bought it for him.
Okay, Bill bought it for him.
Bill just, I don't remember if he shit himself or something, but I don't know, for whatever reason he was like, here, wear this shirt. He's like, but it's baby blue. It's like, suck it up. So he did.
Yeah.
And then, in terms of a movie, and I'm not understanding this as a true story of something that happened, but just looking at this strictly as a movie, the way it was portrayed there made it seem like they were just trying to find a way to reference the title.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it was the same later when he was walking with that chick he's trying to get with that makes him rock hard. And she's like, "Oh, so you're the boy in blue. You wear the baby blue shirt." And he's like,
It's just blue. It's just blue. It's not baby blue.
It's not baby blue.
Yeah.
And it's like, he might as well have just looked at the camera.
It's just blue. It's not. I'm not the boy in baby blue.
Blue ain't your color.
Just the boy in blue. Yeah.
I liked that. This was a wonderful film.
Yeah.
The whole family should watch it, especially if you're into rowing.
Yeah, I'm your boy.
Especially if you're a hardcore.
If you were a hardcore rower
from the 1800s.
if you were still alive, or if you knew anybody from the 1800s who'd be like,
Oh my God, Ned Hanlan. He was a great rower. That motherfucker could row. He could row anybody out the water.
Rowing, yeah. Keep rowing, yeah. You know, you're loving this part right now. B-R-O,
the boy in blue. Oh. What happens next? I don't know, man. He just keeps winning. This chick keeps leading him on. And then you have, I guess, kind of the climactic scene where he's working out.
Oh, yeah, and then I got you that puppy. Yeah, that puppy, that was me. I got you that puppy.
And this chick is all like,
Nick, I have a confession.
What is it?
I don't know how to say this. Thank you for the puppy. He's really cute. Please don't kick him, because we made a joke about kicking puppies earlier. It was supposed to be funny, but it kind of landed flat because kicking animals is never really funny. I'm due to be married to someone else. I'm engaged. Sorry.
What? Oh, ooh.
Also, I never actually liked you. My uncle told me to try to do this.
This hurt me because this happened to me when I was a kid.
You talking about Joe?
Shut
up. You know what the puppy's name was?
What was the puppy's name?
Rowboat.
Rowboat.
That's right. Yeah, clever.
I believe so.
Rowboat.
Do you remember?
I don't remember that.
I'll name him Rowboat.
I kind of remember that. Maybe. My favorite scene.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Either you do or you don't.
I didn't understand that alien speech. Go ahead and say it in English. I want a Nicolas Cage movie where it's about aliens and he's like the lead alien. He doesn't even have to speak English.
Give it time. Give it time.
How'd I do?
I'm still waiting for Schindler's Fist.
Schindler's Fist? Where'd you come up with that?
Yeah. I don't know, one of those college humor Nick Cage.
One of
those videos. You ever saw the Nick Cage's Agent?
Oh
video?
yeah. Funny.
Yeah, the all white remake of The Color Purple and Schindler's Fist.
So
all the other ridiculous movies he takes on.
My favorite scene, the cops bust in. This whole time the cops are after him because he's a moonshiner, I guess, and a fornicator, and he's just
Well, but they're only in Canada, right?
Yeah, in Canada. See, that's why it's hard for Americans to watch this because we're constantly thinking, is that like a Canadian thing, or is that like an American law too at that time, or I don't know. It's weird.
Well, but he initially comes home to Canada, and everyone's like in love with him.
Yeah.
Right? They're all like, "Dude, we don't even care that you were a fornicator.
You're a superhero.
You're a Canadian hero now, because you can row a boat and not do crime."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
I wonder if this film is big. I wonder if this film's big in Canada.
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Or maybe it was at
maybe at the time.
They probably know. They probably know Ned Hanlan better.
Oh
than we
yeah,
do.
of course. In fact, Ned Hanlan probably had the potential of becoming really well known, and then they made this film. Thanks to the movie, nobody knows who he is today. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And if he was anything like he's depicted in the movie, I mean, he was kind of a drunken, just kind of a drunken, lazy / lucky asshole. I mean, he wasn't even trying half the time he was rowing. Seemed like it.
Yeah. Knox made sure of that.
Yep. Well, we find out that Knox, wow, big surprise, he's not a totally moral guy. They sabotage another rower's boat. Remember that? And Nick Cage eventually decides to leave Knox, which means that Ned.
Well, he decides to leave him after he fixed the entire race. He clearly paid everybody off because after the whole scene you were talking about with the puppy and her admitting that hey, by the way, I never actually liked you. I was just told to do that. He just gets trash drunk before his next race. And so
don't worry, they'll wait.
Yeah, so he does the race and obviously he just can't finish. He's doing a crap job. But the other rowers are clearly stopping and oh crap, stomach aches, and jumping off of their boats and just so painstakingly obvious we're throwing the race.
Yeah.
So that was when he got banished, right, from the American sports leagues.
Yes.
And he was deported. So that's when all the people in town welcome him as a hero. They're we don't care that America hates you and that you're still a terrible person. Welcome back to Canada.
Right.
Go back, Nick Cage.
Go back to where you belong, Nick Cage.
But then, for reasons I still don't fully understand, the police came after him again later.
I loved it.
Arrested
They
him?
dunked his head. And then they shove the barrel of the gun in his mouth. Listen, I don't have a lot to say about this movie because it was unbearable for me. But I don't want to give you the impression that I'm not going to vote for this potentially as one of the topper tiers, because why would I do that? That's crazy. But I'm just going to say, hey, if you think that this movie has any redeeming qualities, please continue. But I mean, we can just finish this up with how did then Ned Hanlan redeem himself? How did the character redeem himself? And then I'll give you a chance to tell me what you liked about this trash of a fucking film.
He took down Tom Selleck.
That's right. Yeah. Tom Selleck is in this movie. It's not really Tom Selleck. It's I don't even know his name, man.
Tom Selleck. I don't either, actually.
It's a cross-eyed Australian man.
That's all you need to know.
His name is Trickett, played by Robert McCormick.
Okay. What else has Robert McCormick done?
This was his last movie, by the way.
His last?
That he...
Yeah, he's an actor.
That he acted.
Clearly.
Yeah.
That's a way to go
an actor
down.
and producer known for Children of the Wind, Utilities, and The Boy in Blue.
If that's what you're known for, that's a pretty sad.
That was enough for him.
Pretty sad.
That was enough for him. He wasn't a bad actor. He was just a strange role.
No.
And I thought that his accent was. I won't get it.
I thought his whole demeanor was.
Yeah, I shouldn't say accent, but.
I mean, honestly, So I think what's funny for me, because I don't know. I know Tom Selleck more of the Family Guy persona kind of thing, and that was my impression of this character the whole time, is that he was just the real life version of the Family Guy version of Tom Selleck.
Yeah, so
that was my impression the whole time.
So, can we get Tom Selleck? No. Can we get Family Guy Tom Selleck? Yes.
You fly the chopper around the island. I'll go talk to the beautiful women. And Tattoo here will keep an eye out for the kidnappers.
Higgins.
We'll need to have security unlock the gate for me out front. Okay, Tattoo?
It's Higgins.
What?
The name is Higgins.
What's your name?
Tattoo.
Yeah. That's what I felt like with this guy, is that it was the Family Guy Tom Selleck was the actor playing this role.
And his lines, man, it was, you better watch your back, because I'll be coming down the back right in the crack of your asshole licking the balls tomorrow. You better see you at the race. It's just like, I don't even know what he said, but damn. Oh, and there was that one line by the other guy. Oh no, it was Cage said, "Bugger off! Try to talk to her, bugger off." And Kevin was like, "Oh, he told him, bugger off, man." And in the 1800s, you didn't tell somebody to bugger off. That was serious business.
No. Ned Hanlan redeems himself that's when the whole Rocky theme starts with him joining up with the old
Yeah, let's talk
geezer.
about that. Yeah, we have definitely a Rocky montage straight out of Rocky.
It is full on Rocky, 100%. I think while we were watching that, I even pulled up Rocky just to confirm the dates. But I'm almost positive that, yep, first Rocky in 1976.
Oh yeah, definitely before this. And it was basically, I guarantee you, I can guarantee you the pitch was we're gonna make a Rocky-like movie about rowing.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a movie, man, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be Canadian. I'm gonna be like this Canadian rower, and it's gonna be kind of like Rocky, but like better because it's gonna be me. And it's not gonna be like fighting because that's lame. It's gonna be like rowing because that's really cool and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, they're gonna love it.
So then he wins a bunch, right? He has the rise back to the top. And then what happens with the girl?
Yeah, and he's still not allowed to row. He's not allowed to row in the United States, so they had to go to England to row and all that stuff. And
didn't he try to rape her once or twice?
Would it be a Nick Cage movie if he didn't?
Good point.
He ends up running her and her fiance down in the carriage, and then gets knocked off the carriage and lays on the ground.
He finally win her over. I don't remember.
I don't know. Probably. Well, he takes his shirt off again, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
That's a classic Cage move right there.
I don't remember either. He does win her back, doesn't he? And then he even meets his ex-girlfriend at the end, and it's like they're still cool.
Well,
yeah, anytime.
No, but because his ex-girlfriend
is with
Bill.
Right.
Yeah, it was like after he left Canada.
Yeah.
Bill was like so Nick jumped into the boat, right, to go meet Bill on the steamboat on accident. After that, he does a race, I think, in Canada before they leave, or maybe in Philly. I don't know. Whatever reason, his girlfriend.
In Rochester.
Okay. That's right, Rochester. And she's there for some reason, which, again, I don't understand. And Bill, like at the end of the race, she's like, kind of looking around, like, does he even realize that I'm here?
Oh,
and Bill's like, I realize that you're here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's just like her and Bill every time.
Do you think
it's like they show up at the same time? When he has this whole drunken montage. Bill's the one that was like sabotaging the other boat.
Right. That's right.
He was there with his ex-girlfriend, who is now his wife.
Do you think that was Bill's plan the whole time, was to get Nicolas Cage?
Hook up with the girl?
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, it was probably like revenge for what the hell was that movie?
Are the Nerds? Revenge of the Nerds?
No. One of the earlier ones that we watched, where like Nick's whole ploy throughout the whole movie was to steal Rusty James' girl.
Oh, Rusty James.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what Nick did. So this is the revenge.
James, yeah, you mean Cotton Club, right?
Yeah. And then the movie just kind of ends like these movies tend to do. It's over, right?
Yeah. Well, he won his race against Tom Selleck.
He did.
So that was the climactic finish. He beat the Australian.
Yes, just like Rocky.
Yeah, so what else is there?
That's true. We didn't get a Boy in Blue 2, though. I thought that was interesting.
disappointing is the word you're looking for.
Or 3 or 4.
Or yeah. Maybe
or
maybe
5.
Do you think there could be a Boy in Blue 2 now? It could be like when Ned Hanlan was old, just loosely based off of him in the nursing home or wherever he was.
It'd probably be more exciting.
I bet you'd get a lot more attention than that one did.
It could be called The Boy in Blue 2, A Queer in the Attic.
still starring Nick Cage.
Yes, of course. God.
All of the same actors. All of them.
Man. So that's pretty much Boy in Blue. I mean, there's not a whole lot more we can dig into. For me,
I'd like to. Sorry.
No, please, by all means.
No, I want to look this up.
I'm just saying, for the most part, I felt that it was mostly unbearable, minus a couple sequences with Cage losing it or just being unintentionally comedic or funny. It wasn't like Birdie for me in the sense that I felt that Nick even had a grasp of his character. In Birdie, there were some really great dramatic and emotional scenes where I felt like he was really acting, and in this, I felt like there was no direction whatsoever. It was just kind of Nick just being the bro. He was just Nick being a bro, unconscious of the world that they should be trying to build, and because of that, it hurt the film and it made it seem like just a really bad B movie, almost like bad Western, the way it was shot. I can't even believe that it was in theaters if it was at all.
Yeah, that's about it. Every time I feel like talking about something about it, it's just like it's not even worth it. It's just so terrible.
Right. It is very close to the quality of Cotton Club, I believe. If you were to watch Cotton Club back to back with The Boy in Blue, I really believe it would cause some kind of mental illness.
To be honest with you, I think if I were to watch one by myself, I'd almost rather watch Cotton Club.
Are you serious? Well, you can't say that. You really can't say that because we disqualified Cotton Club from the runnings.
Right, but what I'm saying is that if I'm watching either one,
it's probably good for us to list the movies that are going into the final battle here at Late Night Cage Fight.
At this point, we brought all of them up tonight.
Well, we did, but let's go ahead and list them. We have Valley Girl, Rumblefish, Racing with the Moon, Birdie, and The Boy in Blue.
Yep.
All right. Those are the 5 movies that we're going to have kind of face off. I'm going to explain.
I like what you did there.
You like that? Yeah. I'm going to explain the rules to you right before. So during our next episode, which is going to be the finale of the first season of Late Night Cage Fight, I'll explain the rules before we start. We will go through the films again just very briefly so we can at least remember some of the key points, and then each of us is going to have a chance to explain who we think should win, and we're going to have a chance to even rebut or refute. Rebut? A rebuttal? That is not funny. It's not funny. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting. I'm really excited for our finale. There's going to be one winner in the end, though. And God, I hope we don't all pick the same movie.
I think I already know where I'm going.
Yeah, and I'm still not sure. Yeah. I'm still not sure until I really give the thought it deserves. So I would recommend just kind of skimming through our old episodes so you can remember where you stood and some of the interesting things that happen in the movies, and just remind yourselves of Nick Cage's performances. And we'll start the battle.
So have we determined all of our rating criterias?
I haven't 100% yet, but it is going to be a mix of a serious review of the film as a whole, Nick Cage's role in it, but then also we have to factor in the entertainment factor. If Nick Cage is entertaining, even if it's like funny or ridiculous, that's an argument. So that's what makes this interesting, is you can argue for a movie that you think is bad but entertaining. And someone else can argue for a movie that they think is great, but perhaps Nick's performance isn't as entertaining, per se. It's not as amusing.
Okay.
And that's where it's going to be... That's where it's going to get interesting, and we're going to have, hopefully, a referee. We're going to have somebody who can look at it objectively and say, well, this is the argument you presented to me, and this is going to be the winner. And then our champion is going to go on to compete in future episodes. So yeah, that's kind of our really rough rundown of The Boy in Blue. I'm going to say, don't watch it unless you have to. I mean, you got to be the biggest Nick Cage fan in the world to watch it more than once. Definitely. I have something to show you guys. You guys see this? This is a little booklet that I bought at a comic shop in DC. It's called Pages of Cages, Activity and Fun Book. And on the cover it has a picture, a drawing, a real rough drawing of Nick Cage. And it says, draw yourself with Nick Cage, which is really cool. And then on the inside, it has the complete Cageography checklist. Look at that. All of his movies.
Oh, man.
All of his movies up to 2014. So I can actually go through this and check them off as we go. So this is like our new Bible. And I have to credit Kate S. and Kendra K. These are two ladies that made this on the back. They're called Team KK. So check them out.
Oh, it's a good thing there's only
It's
two of them.
goteamkk.tumblr.com. I've never actually gone to their website, but
It would suck if there was a third.
I get it. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Team KK. Yep. Look at this. The Nick stash. You cut out his facial hair and you can give him a mustache or a beard. That's pretty awesome. Connect the dots. Connect the dots and find out what one of Nick's more infamous pets was with this puzzle. I haven't done that yet, but I'm super excited. I think my daughters will like that.
I bet you.
And then this page, these two pages, is called Take Two. How much cooler would it be if Nick Cage were in all these different movies? The first one is Frozen, and he's the damn snowman, Olaf.
That would be so much better.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of the Rock, and he's Harry Potter. We have the Hunger Games. He's Katniss there with the bow. And then the Fellowship of the Ring. He's Aragorn. And it says right here, true fact, which I didn't know. Apparently Nick Cage was offered the role of Aragorn at one point. Could you...
Offered?
He was offered the role...
Offered.
Like, yeah, if he would have said yes...
He turned down the role?
Could you imagine Lord of the Rings with Nick Cage?
I'm honestly half choked right now. It's actually closer to...
It's hard to believe. I really can't see, you know...
I want
We've
that
got to get the
happen.
ring.
I want to go back.
Frodo.
I was thinking about that tonight. So everyone's been all pissed off about the Game of Thrones ending. And I was imagining if Nick Cage was Jon Snow.
Oh my god. He's too old though. He would have had to be one of the older characters. I could see him as
Jorah Mormont?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir,
yeah.
Cersei.
Or Cersei.
Yeah.
Daenerys. You have to ask yourself, is this a good idea to invade? You still have yourself. Make the right decision while you can. And God, you're hot. You're hot. Can I touch your tits?
Look at this. This is a cutout. This is a cutout of Nick's face from Face Off.
That's horrifying.
It is horrifying. I'm totally going to wear that at some point. And then look, every magazine has to have a fold out, right? Look at that. Can you see it?
What's in that bag?
What's in that bag?
Is that
A shark
from,
or something? Yeah, it's from Con Air. No, it's from The Wicker Man. The line is from The Wicker Man, but it's Nick Cage posing naked with a bag over his genitals. And it says,
Really?
What's in the bag? A shark or something?
And that's a line from The Wicker Man. And then, we got more games and complete their thought bubbles, and then some fake movie posters. Like, I like this one. Catastrophe with Nick Cage and The Rock. God, that looks terrible. That looks like something that would be made.
Yeah. I would love to see a movie with Nick Cage and Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
And then finally in the back, I hope they don't mind that I'm like revealing everything in this, because I did pay a couple dollars for it, but I think it's amazing. They have a vampire's kiss cupcake recipe.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm excited for that one coming up.
Yeah, me too. We got a while to go, though, but I got to tell you, man.
Well, do we really? Because, I mean, I think it's in the next season.
Oh, thank God.
If we're talking 5 movie seasons, our next season is Peggy Sue Got Married, Raising Arizona, Moonstruck, Vampire's Kiss,
my goodness.
and Never on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure Never on Tuesday is going to count. I haven't seen it, but it's IMDb shows it as an uncredited.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, dude, I'm
just a sports
I'm
guy,
gonna go on the
so.
record here, guys. Raising Arizona is a solid movie. It's one of the Coen brothers' earlier films, and
That's next season. You deal with that shit when we come around to the next round, because I've already got arguments for other ones, and those I've seen a few of them from the next season. So
yeah. Well, I'm just making a guess because I haven't seen them all. It's gonna be tough because what I'm getting at is Raising Arizona, I think, is a solid movie, and then Moonstruck is probably a pretty solid movie too. I haven't seen it. Is Cher in that one, Kevin?
Yeah.
But Vampire's Kiss, Steve and I at least have seen, and it is a solid movie. So it's going to be an example where it's going to be really hard. It's going to be hard for us to decide the winner because those movies are fantastic on different levels.
Yeah. I think I'm really excited for next season. I think we had a really good start of all of this, but I think going into season 2, I mean, just looking at the lineup that we've got, I'm really excited because I think that we're already starting to see Nick kind of developing as an actor. Sure. Sorry, that left a bad taste in my mouth. No, but we're starting to see him really solidify himself in what it is that we know and love him for today. You know, in the beginning, it seemed like he wasn't confident. And man, by the time we got to Boy in Blue, yeah, he's all in.
He's all in.
He knows. He now knows. In the earlier films, we experienced some of what we know as Nick. But at the point of Boy in Blue, I think that it's clear that Nick understands that Nick is who he is.
So you think he's coming into his own by the time Boy in Blue comes around?
Yeah, I think he's finally come to terms with who he is as an actor.
Okay.
By that point.
I definitely think that he is pretty fearless by this point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why though, but I just feel like with the Boy in Blue, he didn't really give a fuck. What do you think, Kevin?
No.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's like it comes and goes, and it must be just the amount of freedom that he gets from the director. Like, it's definitely a drastic difference from any of Uncle Frank's movies.
Yeah.
but Uncle Frank definitely doesn't give him as much freedom as far as even screen time. So when he gets too much freedom, it's like he just lollygags and doesn't even try. So so it's kind of all over the place depending on it seems like what the director makes him do, but it could be.
I don't think anyone makes him do anything.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't know.
You think he's he cannot be tamed at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. That's all fair.
You think the only thing that can be done is just give him less screen time?
Yeah. That's how Uncle Frankie takes care of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So that pretty much sums up our discussion of the Boy in Blue, and I guess kind of our impression of how we think Nick Cage has, like you said, evolved as an actor. What's left is, how are you guys feeling about the actual cage fight? What would you like to see in the cage fight?
Steel chair.
A steel chair. Yeah, I'm thinking of making this kind of like a WWE, WWF, WCW style, high energy. We go in like ready to fight. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I think if we're really going to have a judge in this, I think the judge is going to be kind of the announcer, the ringman of all of this, because I mean, we've all kind of got to make our arguments and convince the judge, right? That's what we're talking here.
Yeah.
That's the goal into this.
Right.
So he'll make the final call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any concerns.
I think Steve was really convinced he's gonna win, and he's gonna be super pissed when he doesn't.
I'll fucking murder both of you.
I believe you.
You're gonna murder us?
If I don't win.
If Steve doesn't win, that's how he plays. That's how he plays the game of life.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't caught him for those 4 people in Ohio yet. Right?
6.
Yeah.
6, yeah. If you want to call them all people, some of them weren't really, you know.
Well, they only found 4.
They found them. I thought they hadn't found all of them. Any of them.
They still don't know who it was.
We probably shouldn't talk about this here.
It's okay.
Yeah. What did you think about that guy who, in Cleveland, who kept those people captive in his basement, right? And then he, like, killed people? Sean?
You talking about Sean?
No, but I was thinking of having Sean as a ref. You could ask him if he is our ref. What would you think about having?
They were upstairs.
I'm up for Sean.
They weren't in the basement.
I know a number of people I think would be good refs. Yeah. Maybe at different times. I think between Sean,
just
I think
send me,
Matt, I think Drew.
Yeah, just send me a Schindler's List, and then we'll pick one.
I think about the guy in Cleveland. I knew something was wrong when a pretty little white girl ran into a black man's arm.
Yes, yeah.
Are you talking about
Dead
Cleveland House of Horrors? Did you have anything to do with that, Steve? Steve is
I thought we were talking about
Steve. I don't know how to. We'll just go ahead and say it. Steve is a serial killer, but he has been working on himself, and it is not right for us to judge him for who he is. And so, as long as
it's 2019, bitches.
Yeah, this is 2019. Just because Steve has a problem, he's different. He's born that way. He enjoys what he does. You have no right to judge him.
Skinning people. Yeah.
Skinning people? Now that's a little fucked up. I just thought that you kind of.
My bad.
But I can't judge you. This is.
You don't know anything, but you don't know anything about being a serial killer, Chinchilla.
Yeah, you don't like your meat fucking with the skin on. You typically eat your shit boneless, skinless.
That's not true. Why would?
My bad that you don't do it yourself.
I don't eat people though.
Doesn't matter.
Is this why you like Nick Cage? Because he's kind of demented sometimes in his roles, and you're demented?
Nick is not demented at all. Nick is a very wholesome family. You know, he did a movie called Family Man.
He did. That's true. He is a family man.
That means that he's all about family.
He is a family actor.
No.
He's been in some really great family movies. But as for you, Steve, I knew you were a serial killer, but I didn't know that you ate people, and now I'm a little grossed out.
Well, you gotta get that protein.
Oh, you're working out, so you need extra protein.
I'm trying to. I've lost like 14 pounds in the last
Do you
month,
feel guilty about what you've done?
Do you feel
losing weight?
I didn't mean to piss you off, dude. If this is gonna cause a rift between us, then we'll.
Dude, I've been like fucking getting it. Do this.
Cool, man. Yeah. Okay. You just make this about you though, and not the people whose lives you've destroyed. But it's not for me to say.
I haven't destroyed anyone's lives. They destroyed their own lives. That's how they got to where they were.
All right.
You know the best way to exercise and lose weight quick?
What?
I actually remember watching something about exercising from an old show that I used to watch called Sexy Class.
Steve's gonna bring up Sexy Class again, an old show we made in college. It's still on YouTube.
What about rowing?
Rowing would be good. Rowing would be good. Maybe that's the alternative I need to
take. Yeah.
All right, guys. Is there anything else to add?
You need a rowing machine.
Fuck that, man. I would just go up to the frigid waters of Canada.
There you go. Well, that's it for this episode of Late Night Cage Fight. Stay tuned for our finale, where we will be battling. And we will be selecting the best movie of the 5, which will go on to compete.
The one that Steve chose.
What, Steve? Why you got to interrupt me?
The one that Steve chose.
The one that Steve chose. Yeah, Steve thinks he's going to win. Steve thinks a lot of things, but that's not going to happen. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for our finale of Season 1, where we will be duking it out. And we will discover the best Nick Cage film of his first 5 movies. This is Late Night Cage Fight. Take care.
Late Night Cage Fight.